Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we've actually had some pretty crazy console news all floating around all throughout today. We had one really big major announcement, which is that Steam officially announced the Steam Deck. So basically, Valve announced a brand new handheld gaming PC, which will be released later on throughout this year. And as well, I'm sure you guys have seen up on Twitter or in general, there has been some insane Switch OLED. I always have to stop myself to make sure I don't say Switch Pro because I'm so used to it. A lot of those major retailers have actually released their pre-orders. I actually did go get mine at Best Buy. I did go get the white edition. I'm not sure what I want to do with that, maybe for a giveaway or something like that for the channel itself. You guys can leave a comment down below if you guys would want one of those when it does fully come on out. But basically, we've had a lot of crazy news. So we're going to be talking about a little bit about the Switch Pro, and I'll talk a little bit more about the Steam Deck. And if you guys want to go and leave a comment down below, let me know if you guys are intrigued on getting either or. I saw the Switch OLED was a little bit more on the iffy side. Not as many people were fully in love with it. And as well, the Steam Deck did kind of go and seem like it was a bit more on the people were excited. They like the idea of it. And so I'm going to kind of give you guys the announcements, the specs, and all of that throughout this video. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, especially for our PS5 giveaway on the channel itself. Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc, digital console controller. Follow the Twitter if I see any good actual news and or restocks going on. I'll tweet them on out for sure. Twitch as well, link down below. And of course, we also have the Weeble. Sign up for Weeble, deposit $100. You guys go get free stock, free money. Go ahead and basically you guys go buy $100 worth of any cryptocurrency. You guys go and get free Bitcoin. And if you guys are PS5 people, we've been seeing a little bit of like on-off Walmart news, so be on the lookout for that. Unless I go and miss it, I'm going to probably be doing dinner with a friend. So let's go diving into it. So the major, let me get the Switch Pro stuff, Switch OLED out of the way. As of now, if you guys did get one, leave a comment down below. I love the fact that so many people are now actually getting them, receiving them. Like, you know, the more so the pre-orders themselves. And we're going to be on the lookout for it throughout the next, probably like next 2 months or so. Because if you guys remember on the PlayStation pre-orders and Xbox pre-orders, there was a few additional waves that kind of floated around. And basically people who had a chance to not get it off the first initial day, a lot of people had a chance to get them throughout the next few months as well. So I'm letting you guys know on that. But the major news I think for this is going to be on the Steam Deck. So I want to go talk about this and show you guys this on up. As well, if you guys want to creep on it, you just have to just go to the Steam store and they do have some stuff over here. But this was officially announced as of today, the brand new, like it's like a console, it's like a PC console, which is kind of weird to say. But basically, it's all through Steam. As you guys probably know, if you guys don't have PCs, Steam is, well, essentially just a really big, imagine like the PlayStation Network and Xbox, for lack of better terms. And they actually do have a few different various versions of the Steam Deck. So basically, the Steam Deck, you can now go reserve up in there in different regions, and they will be beginning shipping on December 2021. Basically, go and choose whatever version you want to reserve down below. And when the inventory is available, customers will be notified in their order reservations to make their purchase. So you guys can actually go and see there's a few different types of things. And it looks like the major big thing is more on the, more like the actual, like, storage itself. So 64 gigabytes, 256, and 500 gigabytes. And I do think the specs do seem like the same. At least on the listing page, it doesn't say anything else. We can look through our IGN article. But basically, they're working with AMD to go make a really cool custom APU optimized for handheld gaming. When I will be honest, I'd probably rather have this over the Switch Pro 2 if I had to go pick and choose, or Switch OLED. It also has a Zen 2 RDNA2 powerhouse, and it's also delivering more than enough performance to run the latest AAA games in a very efficient power envelope. I think maybe my first initial thoughts will be, since it's a smaller resolution and smaller screen and slightly pretty good hardware, it could probably go and handle up most of the games out there. And it's probably especially really good for all the indies out there. I'd be very curious to see how it handles like those really, really taxing games. But once again, with a smaller resolution on the screen, it might make it just a little bit easier. Like it's very easy to run a 720p in comparison to say like a 4K or something like that. But yeah, basically, if you guys also have your Steam library anywhere, basically once you go and log into your Steam Deck, your entire Steam library shows up just like any other PC. You'll be able to find your collections and favorites exactly where you left them, which I think this is awesome news. Like, if you guys want to, leave a comment down below if you guys think you guys would want to use this or play with this or whatever. But I definitely think this is really high up on my radar. Now, of course, if I ever want to play a game, I'd probably rather this be on my PC because I do actually have a pretty good PC. And spec-wise and stuff, it does seem a little bit lesser than my PC. I have a very nice, 2080 i9 990K. But overall, it does look very nice and very sleek, and I can maybe see someone who wants to play games. Like, imagine playing CSGO, laying in your bed like late at night trying to go play, or play like Dota or something like that. I could definitely see people trying to get into this. And as well, they also have some nice little nifty stuff mixed on in. They also have the dock. Like, pretty much everything about this just kind of seems like the slightly better Switch Pro. Funny enough, so I kind of like this. But they have a lot of really cool stuff mixed on in. There's also reservation fees and stuff like that. but this will actually be a little bit more later on throughout December 2021. But very cool, very big announcement. We also do have the IGN article over here, which has a little bit more of the hands-on for it. So if you guys just want to see what it looks like, you guys can kind of see it on over here. There's also a lot more pictures too as well. So there's a lot of rumors in May, and then Valve has now officially announced the Steam Deck, a handheld gaming PC arriving later this year. IGN has an exclusive hands-on with the Steam Deck as part of this month's IGN First, as well as a FAQ with Valve about the device, but here is the essential info. The Steam Deck has a form factor similar to that of a slightly larger Nintendo Switch, but with the capabilities of a full gaming PC. And I think that's always been a big issue too, because I think a lot of people out there aren't the biggest fans of the Switch, because it's just not as efficient. They want to have more of upgraded internals, and they want to be able to go play games on better graphics, better frames, etc., etc. It actually runs on a modified version of the Valve Steam's OS, complete with a new console-like interface for easy navigation of both the Steam Store and your Steam library, but it also provides access to an unrestricted computer device where any third-party applications can be installed, including non-Steam games or launchers. So very, very cool, a little bit more in-depth. You guys can maybe go and see some other pictures on over here, but there is just a lot of really cool stuff to look at for this. It looks very, very nice and very, very nifty. And once again, I do think it's just a slightly better Switch. Because there's even like fighting games too. Like everything about this looks very, very nice, very, very clean. Once again, though, I think I'd probably just rather go and play on my normal PC. But this, in my opinion, I'd probably rather have this over the Nintendo Switch. And I do like the idea too as well, maybe for portable gaming, if you're on like a vacation or whatever. I'd probably rather use this than cloud gaming, like from the Xbox or PS Now and stuff. But I do think this overall is very, very nifty and very, very clean looking. And as well, I'd have to maybe go and test and see how good the resolution and the frame rates and stuff are for a more in-depth game. Like even look at Death Stranding. It is nice that you can play it on everything, but I'd want to see how well it runs and how efficient it actually is. But I think this is something that Steam's been trying to work in for a while, because we've seen Steam try to go work in like custom controllers and hardware and VR. So it definitely would make a lot of sense of why they're trying to go work in more in the handheld market. Because if they can make more money and get into more of a cheaper market, because sometimes, it is really expensive to go and get a proper, good working PC, especially nowadays with the GPUs, it makes a lot of sense. So in terms of the hardware, the Steam Deck actually has a 7-inch 800 12 by 1280 what's 1280 by 800 resolution, 20 hertz LCD screen, a custom AMD APU featuring a 4-core 8-thread CPU paired with 8 RDNA2 compute units for the GPU, and a 16 gigabyte of LPDDR5 RAM. So a pretty okay, good internal computer. And practicality speaking, that makes it a substantial amount stronger than the Switch, allowing it to run modern games impressively well. As a point of reference, I was able to go play the Jedi Fallen Order on an in-development Steam Deck at high graphical settings with little to no issues, which if you guys compare that to a proper PC, that is insanely good and very, very good. And also even compared to the Switch OLED, you try to go run that type of game on the Switch OLED, it'd probably catch on fire. You can even suspend running games like a console, and Valve says the intent is really to give players access to their entire Steam library on the go, which I really do think this is like kind of the future of gaming, because as we get more and more graphically intense, and also more efficient with our graphics, having something like a handheld or a phone to be able to go play all of your games you own makes a lot of sense. And I do think Steam's a good kind of middle ground for it, because if you could access all of your Steam games while using a handheld, I would probably take this on the go if I'm bored or want to maybe even stream. If I can maybe use this as a capture card and stream with it, I guess it's being really good for Twitch streamers and YouTubers who want to record or do stuff as they're on vacation or doing other stuff, which is always very, very nice. So at least all the first hands-on, everyone's liking it and enjoying it. But I would like to see people test this with very, very graphically intensive games, or even games like Dota or CSGO. To better enable this, the controller setup on either side of the screen has all the buttons, triggers, and full-size Joy-Cons you expect from a modern gamepad and more. The sticks are actually compactive, meaning they can detect your thumb is resting on them, and below each one is a small trackpad that can be used for mouse inputs. There are also 4 back buttons on the rear of the Steam Deck that can be mapped however you see fit, and the display is a multi-input touchscreen. All around, everything that we're seeing for this looks extremely good and extremely well. Like, I'd love to get this. Additionally, the Steam Deck has Bluetooth support for any device you could connect to a regular PC, including headphones like Apple AirPods. It could also be docked and hooked up to an external display, as well as a mouse and keyboard if you want to use it as a more traditional PC. So basically, this is like also a mixture too of everything. Like, you actually have the internal, like, you can do a handheld, but also use it as a literal mobile PC, which I think I could see a lot of people doing, especially for fun multiplayer games on Steam. While Valve will be selling an official dock separately, any third-party USB-C adapter should work as well, and those who simply want an experience closer to that of a regular handheld or console can ignore the more computery aspects entirely. So this is actually awesome. So as we covered at the start of the video, there's a base version at $400, another $500 model, and a $600 model, which is very, very nice too as well. Also, apparently too, from what we mentioned before, the later two Steam Decks will also have faster SSDs. So it's not really doing anything crazy in terms of internals, but SSDs are always pretty nice for things as well. And it does seem like they're trying to go release this up for holiday 2021. So very, very good to go and see. And even good old Gabe over here with his majestic beard is going and saying how these price points were painful but critical. So I love the idea of this. If you guys want to leave your thoughts and comments down below, feel free to. But this is something I would personally really like to go buy and get. And I think this is actually something I think I'd probably even prefer over the Switch Pro. Switch OLED. So leave me your thoughts and comments down below, and make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. Also, maybe on the lookout for Walmart for some PS5 restocks for today if you guys are curious. And as well, we're still on the lookout for Amazon for some PS5 restocks for that. So be on the lookout for all that, boys. I love you guys all so much for watching. Appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Leave a like. All the sell links linked down below. And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your days, nights, and all that. Well, some more videos later on. Love you guys.